Hey, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another live stream. Have a lot of fascinating things to talk about in this live stream. Some of the things that I'm going to bring up you may have not heard about yet. Brand new things hot off the press. So stick around, don't go anywhere. Got a whole card full of interesting things to talk about. The supposed comet. I've been asked to analyze the color spectrum of this comet. In fact, I just got back into town. I had a meeting with some like-minded friends, let's just put it that way. And we've been talking about a lot of things here that are going on, especially going on today, of all things. What's up, guys? Janelle, morning, sunshine. See the pink crown, the purple crown. What's up, guys? You're looking at Zoom Earth. We're just going to start off here just for something to talk about until everybody gets here. Whoever's going to get here today, hopefully we have a room full. That always makes it more fun. Oh yeah, before I forget, hey everybody, here's the link. Link to, I always forget if you guys are interested. I had people ask. So here it is. Let me put this in right here, and there it goes. That's the link to the Star Family members. If you guys want to become a Star Family member, you'll have a star next to your name, like Graham, who's a Blue Star member, in the chat. Okay, here we go, guys. You're looking at zoom.earth. This is a view from yesterday. Today's view, I'm just showing you guys the activity that's going on out west. There's a lot of activity in the western United States with regards to earthquakes and wildfires. It's just hot and uncomfortable. Out east, they're dealing with rain and flooding. It's like we're out of balance. You know what I mean? Big earthquake up in Alaska. We're going to talk about that. Something that's still going on. I have some incredible photos to share with you guys, sky photos that have been sent in that don't even look real. Some of them don't even look real, but they are. No joke. You can't make this stuff up. What else we got going on? Oh, got a buoy still reacting to the 7.3. Something has triggered out here in the northern Pacific Ocean. There's something going on out here. I don't know if there's some sort of large geological movement that's going on. Maybe the seafloor is going up and down. It's implying, what we're going to look at implies that the seafloor is moving radically. But as we've seen in the past, or at least I've seen in the past, especially down in the South Pacific, down here south of Indonesia, even over here south of New Zealand, many years ago, because I followed these buoys for many years, they're a great source of information. Saw one down in deep in the Southern Ocean that's currently moving today, swirling up carbon and warming up the waters and the salinity. Saw a buoy move 500 feet one time. 500 feet! It's like, what? And there was no tsunami. It's as if the ocean or whatever absorbed the movement. Well, there's something going on out here in the North Pacific following the large earthquake. Speaking of earthquakes, are you serious right now? Mount Rainier is going loco. This is a map of Mount Rainier, literally real time, right now as I do this video with you guys. Hey, moderator, got the best moderator on YouTube. Thank you, moderator, for all your hard work. I've got a video that I'm going to share with you guys at the end of this live stream that I want your help on. I've been working on well, a lot of things, but one thing I've been working on, we're going to come back to, is this ancient time traveler that's moving through the inner solar system. I have some news that I want to share with you guys about this very rare event that's only occurred 3 times in recorded history. So stick around for that. Don't go anywhere. But first, we're starting off over here at Mount Rainier. That's what the banner was about on the live stream. Mount Rainier, which is south and east of Seattle, not far from a very densely populated area, as you guys all well know. There have been over 800 earthquakes at Mount Rainier in just the last 30 days. Are you serious right now? Mount Rainier, I'm not saying that it's directly connected to Yellowstone, but it's 500 miles west of Yellowstone. So So they're all kind of like one big family, if you ask me. Yeah, they're independent of each other, but I think they're all one big happy family. Mount Rainier is very, very active right now. It is acting as if it's getting ready to do something big. And if it does do something big, keep in mind this is in Washington again in a densely populated area. So some are saying audio. Okay, I don't understand, guys. The audio, I can't help you there. Audio is as loud as it's going to get. I've got it up very loud, so maybe check your speakers or maybe something else. I have no idea what to tell you, but over here I'm redlining. So if I turn it up any louder, it's going to blow everybody else out of the room. So sorry about that. Don't know what to tell you. Here we are looking at Mount Rainier, the latest earthquake activity. And just today, in the last 24 hours, look at the orange. These are today new Star family member Stacy Gabler. Thanks, Stacy. Bring it on. Let's go. Okay. The orange circles are in the last 24 hours. The yellow circles, which there is an abundance of yellow circles, are all over the map, especially on the west side, the southwest side of Mount Rainier. Here's the caldera. Is Mount Rainier getting ready to do something big? It sure looks like it. It's kind of uncommon, really, to have this much swarming activity and not have an eruption. Are you serious? That's a lot of activity, guys. So the largest of the 807, the number has gone up since I started the live stream. 807 now in the last 30 days. This isn't even counting in the last 60 days. There have been over 1,000 and no eruption. The only thing that this reminds me of Mount Kilauea down here in Hawaii following the eruption, and Mount Kilauea is still erupting, not like it was in 2018, but there's on and off, eruptions at the caldera, at the summit, Hale Mau Mau. But you can see there's still earthquake activity, but nothing like what we saw following the eruption. There were hundreds and hundreds of earthquakes on this map. There are not anymore. It's kind of toned down some. So for there not to be any volcanic activity at Mount Rainier, I don't know. I'm waiting. I'm waiting on this thing to do something. I really am. I don't want it to, but this is telling us a story, like the lights. I know you guys are probably like, okay, you're still talking about the lights. Yes, I am. I still get videos of these lights. I got them today over here in the Dropbox. It's still going on worldwide. Those lights are trying to tell us a story. There's a buoy in the North Pacific that's trying to tell us a story. Something's going on here at Yellowstone, 500 miles away from Mount Rainier, 500, about 13 to be exact. Error, YouTube is not receiving enough to maintain. Don't know what's going on. Should be. We are hardwired, YouTube. I don't know, I just got a little thing that popped up over here, guys. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Open widget. Well, we'll open the widget. Let's see what we got. It's got to be YouTube, right? Don't know why it would be like that, because we are hardwired. Guys, the volume is low on your end. Try, yeah, the volume's good, guys. Yeah, Beverly can hear me. Grace can hear me. Don't know what to tell you guys. I apologize for that. I don't know how to fix it. I've got a brand new mic. In fact, I got 2 brand new mics. So they are on full tilt. In fact, I'll double check. Yeah, I'm redlining. I can't go any higher. You want me to show it? Well, I can't show you because it'll screw up the feed. So yeah, they're redline. I can't go any louder. Or everybody else in the room would, yeah, volume is fine. Thank you, Heart Earth. That's cool. I like that. Nice name. Yeah, I think people are messing with me, JWK. You're right. I know the volume's good because I can actually see the digits over here. I've got a meter on this one. The big mic up here, I didn't have a meter on. So when people would say, oh, the volume's low or whatever, I didn't have any way to verify it or, confirm it. These I do. So I'm watching on TV, chatting on iPhone. Volume is great on both. Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate that. So volume's good, guys. Okay, where are we at? back to Mount Rainier. Is something about to go off? I would say so. In my humble opinion, I would say Mount Rainier is telling a story that it's getting ready to erupt. How big the eruption could possibly be, that remains to be seen. But you can see the list of earthquakes over here. I'll zoom in a little tighter. Look at the list. Look at that. Just in the last 30 days. Albeit they're small, I get it. They're small quakes, but that's still a lot of activity. Look at all these. It just goes on and on and on. And when we see one, if we see one this big, if we see one over 5, more than likely that'll be a sign that it's getting ready to erupt. I remember when Mount Kilauea on the big island of Hawaii erupted in 2018. And we had a man on the ground there that was running around showing the lava rolling. It actually made the big island bigger. And he was watching the lava flows in real time. It was quite unbelievable. But there was a larger earthquake just prior to or right at the same time as the eruption. So far, there haven't been any major earthquakes here, just a lot of earthquakes, a lot of small earthquakes. For some reason, the seismographs at the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera are offline, second day in a row. Don't know why. I've had people send me emails asking me why. They said, hey, the Yellowstone tab doesn't work. And they're right. Coming over here to the homepage of the website, you can find the Yellowstone tab right down here on the lower left-hand side. If you click on it, like she said, nothing comes up. Well, if you go back 2 days, you can go back in time. If you go up here into the upper left-hand corner, see we're on July 18th, that's today. We go back to the 16th, and I believe we can generate a report. Okay, so it was offline on the 16th, I think the 15th. Yeah, the 15th was the last day it was active. So what exactly is going on up there? It's anybody's guess. But from what we can see, if I go to today right now, the seismographs are offline. And that's just like, okay, we don't have any information coming from Yellowstone, so nobody knows why, and all we can do is keep coming back. I don't know what's up with the seismographs. I know that one was acting kind of like it could have been broken. There could have been an issue with the sensor. But then again, that's what they're there for. They're there to tell us a story. And just because there's a lot of movement on the seismograph doesn't necessarily mean it's a glitch. This almost looks like a glitch, right? This is our daily update of the Sahara sand traveling from the Western Sahara across the Atlantic Ocean, making the 4,000-mile journey all the way over to the Caribbean Sea, Florida. In fact, it's occupying the Gulf, moving up into the Gulf right now. You won't see any hurricanes out there, guys. In fact, I've got a quick hurricane update for you guys, and it is super quick. Let me see if I can get to it. Stream status, it says is poor. Don't know what to tell you about that either, because the stream status is strong. I'm hardwired, guys. Don't know what more you want. Where are we at? Go down to, oh, here we go. Okay. Give you guys the hurricane report for today. Actually, what I do is, or what I've been doing, is 5-day forecasts. Based off of all the apps that I use and my own personal one, they're all in agreement that for the next 5 days, there should not be any earthquake activity or any hurricane activity. There's plenty of earthquake activity. And I've got something to show you guys. It's actually kind of concerning. Nothing out in the Atlantic, obviously, is too dry. Hurricanes can't form in that type of environment. They can, however, form in the Caribbean and the Gulf. Will they? No, not in the next 5 days. So all quiet on the hurricane front for the next 5 days, especially out here in the Atlantic. There is nothing going on out there. So moving on, but before I move on, I want to touch base one more time. Over 800 earthquakes, Mount Rainier. I want to take you guys to the National Data Buoy Center, which also involves earthquakes. Something has happened to a buoy out here north and east of Tokyo, Japan. There was just talk here recently from Japanese officials about the probability, the likely probability of a megaquake occurring somewhere along the coast of Japan. They don't know exactly when, but they're certain enough to say that within the next 30 years, another big earthquake, but it could happen tomorrow. But look at what's going on with this buoy out here. This is well beyond the 7.3 magnitude earthquake that occurred up here off the coast of, well, not off the coast, but in the Aleutians right here. And the aftershocks have slowed down considerably. There have been 4 today. That's the yellow circles you see. This is where the 7.3 occurred south of Sand Point. Here's the 7.3 that was pretty shallow, about 10, 11 miles deep. No major tsunami activity, thankfully. There could have been. It could have been a lot worse. But you can see there's 63 aftershocks on this mount. Let's zoom in a little tighter. 58 aftershocks. But the buoy started rocking and rolling following the 7.3. This one over here by Tokyo, what's not necessarily by Tokyo, it's a couple hundred miles out in the ocean, but something has triggered this buoy and it is dancing to the tune of 200 feet. But there's no tsunami. I've seen this before. What I could interpret from what, and I've seen a lot more dramatic than what you're seeing right here. The water column height is showing radical changes, fluctuating from 5580, and this would be in meters, going to 5640. That would imply that basically the seafloor is going like breathing, going down and up, just slow enough to not cause a tsunami. It's not like it's a slip fault to where it's going to create a tsunami. Look at the activity here. The green represents over the course of a minute, or 15 minutes. It's a slow moving situation out there. Why it's doing it, I don't know. Hold on, guys. Whoa, the screen just got really big. I used a secondary monitor over here. Oh, there it says stream health is excellent. Okay, well, that's what we want. Yeah. That's what we want. Now it says excellent. I was going to say I'm sorry, guys. I'm kind of talking to myself here. Sometimes when you're doing these live streams and you use I have to use the OBS software so I can show you guys different things on the monitor here. Sometimes if you do AirPlay, things like that, your signal can get interrupted and interfered with. We're hardwired, so our signal strength should be really good, and that's what it's saying now. It's showing that it's excellent, and it should be. We have really strong internet here, plus being hardwired directly to YouTube, there should not be any type of malfunction. So I'm not quite sure what that was all about. But this is a big deal. Okay, this is on the heels of the Japanese officials saying, hey, we can have a megaquake over here sometime in the very near future, possibly. Following the 7.3 up in Alaska, look at this. Guys, I've done the math on this, and this is showing a 213-foot swing over the last 36 hours since the earthquake up in Alaska. Look at that movement. And the buoy's still moving. There's also a buoy moving up in the Alaska area, which is kind of uncommon for these things to be moving this far after the main event. Look at this one in the Gulf of Alaska. There's still one. That's whenever they're pulsing like that, that means they're in event mode. That means they've detected movement. Doesn't always necessarily mean it's a tsunami. I've learned that over the years. Sometimes the seafloor can move and trip the buoy and put it into event mode. I've seen these things go into event mode with no earthquake. That's when I learned many years ago, because I've been following these things for well over 12 years, the situation down in Indonesia, when it fluxed 500 feet, and I'm like, wait a minute, man, there should be a massive tsunami somewhere. Well, there wasn't. Let's click on this buoy right here. Let's just see what it says. This one was triggered following the large earthquake, the 7.3. The data is still showing, and this is up in the northern Bering Sea. The Bering Sea is a very rough body of water. But this is showing some sort of an anomaly, and the red line represents in a 15-second time frame. So there's some sort of fluctuation between 37.24 and 37.27. So that would be about a 9-10 foot fluctuation in 15 seconds, which really isn't that big a deal. I've seen much greater than that. The earthquake was down here. That buoy went into event mode, and then this buoy over here, north and east of Tokyo. I'll click on it again to refresh it. Yeah, it's still showing the same thing. Is the North Pacific Ocean seafloor moving over by Japan? Looks like it is. That's what that tells me. Now, has it moved? Yeah, it's moved in the last hour. There's been no earthquake activity over there. In fact, we'll go look. That's the swarm. Oh, there's just a new one right there as we're talking about it. How about that? Went from 4 today to 5 right as we're doing the live stream. A 4.3, 39.7 kilometers deep, right in the middle of the swarm area. Let's go over to the Tokyo, Japan area where that buoy's at, right? Let's see what's happening. Okay, there's Tokyo. The buoy sits right out here. And look what's there. An underwater volcano. Ah, who'd have thunk it? Let's go to Google Earth real quick. Google Earth, come here, Google Earth. Google Earth's my favorite app. Got to be honest, it is. It's my favorite. I love Google Earth. Okay, so this is approximately where the buoy is at, and look, something out there, right? Maybe it's a volcano. I don't know. But there's definitely something up. There's movement out here in the Pacific Ocean. That's what that buoy's telling us. You know, we can't just dismiss all of this activity that we see, the rogue activity we're seeing up at Yellowstone, the rogue activity now we're seeing on these buoys. We can't just dismiss all of this stuff as glitches and you know, irrelevant. I think this stuff is relevant. I really do, and they're telling us a story. Something is changing over there, and that buoy is like, yo, look at me. Now this, they've taken all the red ones off. They've either done that or they've fixed them. But I know for years, all across, especially across the equator over here at the National Data Buoy Center, the red ones, see that where I've got highlighted, the red stations with no data in the last 8 hours. Well, they've either fixed all of them or just simply taken them off the map, because there used to be several dozen of the red ones on here. And I'm glad to see that they're not on here anymore, because you kind of had to work through the ones that were basically not active. I don't think they worked. They were malfunctioning. I always watch here in the Gulf looking for activity with buoys. I remember once there was a buoy, not once, multiple times off the coast of New York. Way out here, a buoy would, for unknown reasons, start in event mode. And again, it wasn't because of an earthquake, but for some reason, the seafloor, that's how I would interpret the activity. The seafloor would start moving for no reason. Kind of weird. But those have stories to tell. Okay, looking at a river over there in Texas, I saw the orange. I'm like, wait a minute, we got another river coming out of its banks? They did get quite a bit of rain in southern Louisiana yesterday, but the rain was widespread. I saw they had downpours in Florida, scattered around southern Alabama and Mississippi. Could have been a lot worse. They were very slow moving storms. That's why I didn't go back on yesterday afternoon. The storms were moving literally at like 3 miles an hour. That's why I did. And I started the day off yesterday looking at the cameras and trying to follow the storm activity, but they were moving so incredibly slow. I didn't go back on yesterday afternoon. I apologize for that. I intended to. Today, the skies look a little more calm. We've got some activity brewing right now in the eastern United States. Looks like most of the rain activity, which is typical, is east of the Mississippi. You can see once again, we're seeing activity in Kentucky, southern Illinois, which saw flash flooding yesterday, saw flash flooding in Indiana, and it's brewing again today. It's going to be a wet summer, guys. I truly believe that. There's been a whole slug of moisture. I think we're going to have a busy monsoon season out here in Arizona, too. So you guys in Arizona, buckle up. We could see a lot of monsoon activity this year. Okay, guys, I want to take you we're going to go from earthquakes and volcanoes to the comet. I've been asked, um, to analyze this mysterious body. Oh, this thing is wild. This has only happened 3 times in recorded history. This is the mysterious body that's traveling through the inner solar system. In fact, I have it right here. Ah, there she is. Coming in. It's inside the orbit of Jupiter right now. People with big telescopes are starting to pull this thing in, okay? I was asked to analyze, because it's got an unusual color to it. Typically, and it's decent size, I was asked if I could analyze the color, look for the physical body itself, and I'm going to show you guys what I found so far. And look for a tail, which there isn't one. So that tells me that this thing may not be a comet. What do we have traveling through our cosmic neighborhood here? Oh, this is good. There it is inside the orbit of Jupiter. Like I said, good telescopes are picking this thing up quite easily. It's being called an interstellar comet. This is from a different star. Most of the comets that we have come through here are comets from our own, solar system. They just kind of loop out and come back around. This one's from a different star, far, far away. But let me show you what I found, okay? I did some work on it. I'm just getting started. I don't think this is a comet. It's got an unusual color spectrum. The size I'm in agreement with. It's approximately, it's difficult to tell, but I'm going with the 12, right around the 12 mile, the head of the object, whatever it is. I don't think it's a comet. Look at the color features here. This was picked up by the Gemini telescope on the Big Island of Hawaii. Just saw, did I see a super chat, a super sticker? Oh, I did. #1, got the #1 crown. Thank you, Graham. What is the galactic plane? Are we moving into it? Boy, that's a topic for another discussion. Hey, Jeff Snyder too. What's up, buddy? Jeff Snyder too's got the world's greatest memory. Graham, we'll talk about that later. The galactic plane. Rotten Dog, thank you for the super chat. Have a video of something I can't explain from 2021. Yes, send it in the Dropbox. The Dropbox works. If you guys have any videos you'd like to share, come over here to the homepage of the website, which I'll share with you guys here in just a minute. It's quite simple, mrmbb333.com, and look for the Dropbox tab. You can drop a 2-hour video in there if you like. Okay, this is what the Gemini telescope from the Big Island of Hawaii is pulling in. People with 14-inch telescopes are able to get a nice view of this object that's coming into the inner solar system from another star. How cool is that? Look at the colors. This isn't a comet, guys. I don't think this is a comet. But let me show you what I found. Again, from the Gemini. View from the Gemini telescope on the Big Island. Big Island's got a beautiful, every night, unless it's cloudy, a beautiful view of the nighttime sky. Interstellar, this is the 3rd of its kind that we know of and that we've tracked through the solar system from another star. Guys, this has a very unusual color spectrum to it. You can see a variety of different colors. This is unedited. I haven't done anything to this, but you're going to see some versions of this that I have done some work to. You're going to be able to see a very round, its surface features, which we can't see its surface, it's too far away, especially with anything I have. This is an ancient time traveler. That's exactly what this thing is. It's from another time, another star, long, long ago, and it's only going to make one trip through the solar system, and it'll never come back. So if I was in charge, and I had access to all the fancy toys and satellites and things like that, I would be all over this guy. Oh, you bet. I would be all over this guy. But maybe they are. I don't know. But I would be getting as much information from this object as I could. Here's another view. This is, okay, the view here, what I did was I took away the color and I was trying to feature just the object itself. And as you can see, you can kind of see a little bit of activity behind the object. There should be a lot more if it were a comet. The reason why, it's inside the orbit of Jupiter. It should easily be feeling the solar wind from the sun. So the solar wind, as you guys all well know, is what creates the dramatic tails of comets. Now, the other option that we can consider, and we have to consider, is this thing's composition. You know, maybe it's been traveling for so long from another star that I don't know, maybe it's morphed into something else. You know, maybe the ice is so thick and so hard that it's not reacting to the solar wind like every other comet does. This one's not. So I'm still kind of on the fence, but I'm leaning towards this is not a comet. This could be an intelligently designed craft that's not outside the realm of possibility. Let's just put it that way. This one here, I've modified the color. Okay. Hold on just a second here, guys. Okay, this one here, I've obviously modified the color quite a bit, as you can tell. And you can see there's an orange glow in this particular image. Reddish orange. There's the center. I was trying to isolate the center mass of this thing. And we do isolate it in one of the images that I share with you guys. It almost looks like a little sun moving through the inner solar system. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You seriously can't. This is real. This is moving through the inner solar system. Here we go again. Now, this one obviously is heavily modified. I've taken away the vast majority of the light and an inversion with some modifications. And there's the object right there. It almost has like and it could be just a lens artifact, but there seems to be an electromagnetic field around this thing. There's there's patterns of energy, not dysfunctional sublime activity where the comet, you know, is turned into this coma of ice and gases and things like that, you know, coming off the head of the comet. I don't think it's a comet. I really don't. It is next to impossible to say without having something to compare this to. But I would say, based off of the comets that I've seen in the past, if this were a comet, yeah, it's probably somewhere in the 12 to 22. I would say it's at least 12 to 22 miles wide. That's pretty decent size. I mean, you could drive your car, your truck around here with no problem and maybe get lost. It's that big. And it's pretty good size. There it is again. Notice the darker blue in the center? It's denser right there, and it could be reflecting sunlight. I don't know. It didn't seem to have a whole lot of reflectivity to it. It seemed like it was shrouded in an electromagnetic force, a force field. But there it is with nothing. I stripped away everything but the object. There you go. And it doesn't necessarily, okay, and here's another, doesn't necessarily look like a comet, guys. There's no dramatic tail. There should be a really big tail behind this thing. Here it is again. I just modified the original here. You can see the background and there's blues. This one here really popped. You got blue, you got green, red behind. This isn't in infrared, so we're not looking at, you know, thermal imagery here, like that's telling us, oh, that's hot, that's cold. That's not what this is. This is a regular image. Super weird. So this is the ancient time traveler that's moving through the inner solar system. It's inside the orbit of Jupiter right now as I do this video. People that have 14-inch telescopes and know where to look can actually get a glimpse of this thing. People that have the really big toys, like on the big island of Hawaii, Mauna Loa and Mauna Kea, that's where Gemini's at. Yeah, they can dial this thing in with no problem. It's decent size, but no tail. Where's the tail? Like a little ball of fire moving through the solar system. That's just what it looks like, but it's not. It's not literally a ball of fire. That is highly unusual. But we have a visitor in town. Yes, we do. And again, if I were in charge of all the fancy toys, I would be greeting our visitor. Yes, I would be learning as much as I could about our visitor and where the visitor came from and all that good stuff. And they may have an idea where it came from, but I don't think they do specifically just yet. But that's an update on 3I, and they use I for Interstellar, 3 being the third one of its kind in recorded history, and Atlas is the observatory. So wow, wow, wow. Too cool. There it is once again, right inside the orbit of Jupiter. Jupiter's the orange line you see right there. There's Jupiter's orbit. It is inside the orbit of Jupiter and booking right through the inner solar system. There's where it's going to go. I think it's going to come, yeah, inside the orbit of Mars in October. So we'll be able to get a good look at it. When it comes inside the orbit of Mars, you could probably see this thing with a 5-inch telescope. Yeah, I mean, right now, a 14 would be optimal, but yeah, that's the latest on the ancient time traveler. There's Mr. mountRainier, active, very, very active. Okay, the wild buoy. Oh, the glowing cross. 800-foot quake. I got to look at my note card, guys, because again, I have 16 tabs open, and I have 10 different photos and videos to share with you guys. And the last one that I'm going to share with you guys, I need your help on. I want your input on something that was sent in from Maine less than 24 hours ago in the sky last night at 1 o'clock in the morning. Super bizarre. And I want your guys' input. But yeah, I just got back from not only one, but 2 meetings I had with some associates, let's just put it that way. And we're monitoring some things that I really can't even talk about just yet, but I will be talking about them in the near future. Trust you me, I'll keep you guys in the loop. I always do. When the time's right, that I don't want to, let the cat, there's no cat to let out of the bag, but I just got back, this morning. So I'll keep you guys updated here soon on what we're looking at. Some very interesting things. There's some very interesting things going on in the northern hemisphere of the Earth. So look for a very active, busy summer. Let's just leave it at that. But I want to show you guys something. We're going to look at something from Maine here in just a minute. Oh, the crazy skies. Are you serious right now? You guys are going to see a glowing cross, which is super cool. Okay, this starts off in... This is just a collection of videos and photos that are just too cool not to share, right? Here we go. Let's start this off in Wisconsin. Our friend Ryan. The rain east of the Mississippi has been off the hook here recently with flash flooding almost on a daily basis. We've got more heavy rain again today. It's day after day after day. This is a pattern that we're going to be in for several weeks. Yes, we're even starting to see some monsoon activity, which is welcome out here in Arizona. But look at the roads that turned into rivers in Wisconsin. He's driving very slow. Rain coming down so hard, the windshield wipers wouldn't hardly keep up. And this was the sky as the storms had moved through the area, dumping 3 to 4 inches of rain in a very, very short period of time. This is the new theme so far this summer. We're seeing pockets of flash flooding all across primarily the eastern United States, Florida, and every once in a while out here we'll get some monsoon activity, but we're waiting on a lot more. We like the monsoons. I don't like the dust storms, but I like the rain. So does everybody else. Waynesboro, Virginia, Brittany Strickland looked at this towering sky. Look at the cloud, just a big plume. Went straight up. That's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of, when she took the picture, I don't know, what, 45,000 feet tall? That's a tall boy. Okay, guys, this is unedited. All I've done is put the young lady's name on it, Joanne Austin out of East Texas. Can you imagine looking up and seeing that above you? I mean, you would literally think the sky, something's wrong with the earth, right? Oh, she not only sent 1, she sent 2. Check this out. Wow. This is number 2. Looks like the sky's boiling. These don't look like typical mammatus clouds, I'll Unbelievable. Joanne Austin, Eastern Texas. Are you serious right now? Good gosh. I mean, that is one ominous looking sky. And again, I didn't do anything to that but put her name on it. Great photos. Thanks for sharing. Look at this one here by Maverick X. This was sent in, I believe I got this one this morning. And this is a real photo. We've seen this before, but it's kind of rare. Like the sky, the clouds look like cotton candy, just kind of draping down. That's like what's left of possibly a roll cloud or a shelf cloud, and almost as if gravity's taken over and pulling the clouds down towards the ground. I mean, that's just eerie looking. It looks like a set for a Halloween or a haunted house or something. I don't know. Very, very weird. This photo here is out of Missouri from storms recently. Again, the storms have been moving east of the Mississippi. This one will be slightly west of the Mississippi, but that one looked like a spaceship in the daytime sky. That's what compelled them to take the photo. Big, massive looking, looks like a structure in the sky. Obviously, it's a unique cloud, okay? I mean, most people would have been taking pictures of this too, with a splash of orange on the bottom. Looks like it came from somewhere. Looks like an ancient time traveler, right? That thing up in the orbit of Jupiter right now, I believe, is something other than a comet. I'll talk more about it later. Toledo, Ohio, our friend Brent saw this sky just a couple of days ago, purple and pink with a big double-decker. I gotta wait till you see the end of this video. That's always cool whenever you see the purple skies with the double-deckers embedded in the purple sky. We got a glowing cross. In fact, this has some narration. Let me crank it up. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to hear it or not, but the guy was very excited. This is unedited, exactly the way he saw it and exactly the way I received it. Here we go.
Well, Father told me to come down here, and I caught it just in time. Notice how the cross is a-glowing. Look at that. That's not me making it up. That is glowing with its own light. Look how beautiful that is. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Father. Above all, the Most High, my Creator. Thank you, Father. That's amazing.
Isn't that cool? Talk about being at the right place at the right time. That was either at sunrise or sunset, and the cross was glowing as the sun was lined up with it perfectly. How about that? What a cool video by Jody. I believe that was also out of Missouri, Mr. Jody Overstreet. Thank you guys for the videos and photos. Oh, somebody asked about a photo or video to send in. Right here it is, guys. If you have photos or videos that you want to share, you can come over here to the home page of the website, mrmbb333.com. Look for this banner right here that says have a large video. In fact, I'll show you what it is. I'll click on it. Here we go. Click on it. It should open up the Dropbox like it did. And that's what you've got. Please include, though, your first name, date, and location at the top of the photo or video or videos that you have. I get a lot of them that just that have the name, but please include your location. If you're not comfortable with your exact location, that's cool. Just put maybe your state, your country, whatever. Just something that I can have a reference point. And the date. The date's always welcome too. So yeah, drag and drop your photos and videos into that Dropbox. Sometimes photos and videos don't attach to, usually not photos are not a problem, but there's an email if you like, reports to mrmbb333.com. You can send photos there as well. Sometimes though, videos don't connect or attach if they're really big. I want to take you guys to Maine here real quick. I want you to help me on this one, okay? Because I've analyzed this morning, and I'm at a, I don't know. I don't know where I'm at with this thing. It's an interesting video. She took this video at 1 o'clock this morning from up in Maine. A strange object very high in the sky. Again, this is less than 24 hours old. Hot off the press. Cape Elizabeth, Maine, Dana, 7/18/2025, 1 a.m. I'm going to zoom in close, and then I adjust the lighting and color. You guys tell me what you see here. You tell me. I'm watching the chat. I want to hear what you guys think this is. This is unedited. This first video, or this first segment, is exactly the way I received it. All I did was zoom in just a little bit. El Paso, Texas. Hello, Pam. Rotten Dog's got the purple crown. Way to go, Rotten Dog. What do we got going on here, guys? Huh? What do you see? It's stationary right now. This is the original unedited. What? This is the type of stuff I get. This is what's going on around your world all the time. I get videos like this every day. 90% of them are so far away in the nighttime sky that I can't use them. They're too far away. This, whatever it is, was highly visible. It was recorded in a really good format. What do you guys, a fallen angel? Looks like a nucleus. Yikes, I know, right? Craft of some kind. Thank you, Victoria. Okay, here I zoom in. You guys tell me, what do you see? Santa Claus practice run. You know what? You're probably right. Christmas will be here before you know it. Today's what? Friday again? Every time I turn around, it's Friday. Here you go, guys. You're seeing, this is hot off the press. Just got this video this morning, and it was taken at 1 o'clock this morning, Eastern Standard Time, from Maine. Now, what I'm going to do next, in the next segment, I'm going to modify the format. I don't alter the video. I just adjust the lighting and color to try to pull forward any recognizable features. And I'll let you guys, looks like water drops. A classic UFO. Graham, I agree. It's very, very weird. Yeah, definitely, it's a unidentified flying object by very definition. You're exactly right, Graham. Okay, here we go. This is just simple inversion. I really couldn't do too much with it because you got to keep in mind this is a few thousand feet up in the sky. So your options sometimes are limited in the nighttime sky. Clarity's pretty good, I got to admit. Clarity's pretty good, even though I couldn't convert this into 4K. Sometimes I can. The work that I've done for Ancient Aliens, in fact, you guys are going to see new episodes of Ancient Aliens coming up, I believe, in October or September, maybe November, coming up here soon. And all of that videos, or all the videos that I edited for them are definitely in 4K. This one, I thought I could make it 4K, but it just didn't have quite enough horsepower. What do we got going on here? What do you guys see? Plasma field around anti-gravity vehicle, right? It's got some sort of an energy field around it, but I don't know. That's why I was wanting your help on this one. Australia, Friday's over Saturday here. Yes, it is. You're right, Travis. And it'll be Saturday again before you know it, right? Time is moving faster, at least my perception of time is. Is this near the White Mountains? Warriors? No, this is up in Port Elizabeth, Maine. Nowhere near the White Mountains. Glitch in the firmament. Walmart balloons. I know, but it's 1 o'clock in the morning. Why are they glowing so bright? And it does look like it has an energy field around it. Looks like a space creature. Here's the original format. Cape Elizabeth, Maine. Looks like the blob from Skinwalker Ranch. Right on, Graham, I know. Skinwalker Ranch, they're always chasing all kinds of bizarre activity up there. Maybe this came from Skinwalker Ranch. Here's a good look at it right here. Kind of. I mean, it was a little tough to work with because when you're working against a dark black sky and then you have a super bright object, which this is pretty bright. That's why I kind of ruled out balloons. I'm like, okay, if those are helium balloons, where are they getting their light source from? It's not high enough up to be from the sun. I mean, that's probably 8,000 feet up, maybe 7,000. I don't think it's above 10. In order to get light from the sun, I mean, you got to be practically up in low Earth orbit. This is not. I don't know, guys. Oh yeah, hit that like button. That pushes the video out farther. That's all it does. It just pushes that video out. Yeah, I know. I can tell you guys are kind of stumped too. Plasma skinwalker. Klingons. This is one of those ones where I looked at it this morning, and I'm going to look at it a little closer too. But it was the energy field around this thing that had me that really I found quite interesting, and the fact that it especially through this loop right here, it looks like it's moving in place, and up in the higher altitudes you go, it's windy up there, guys. That's what creates turbulence on airplanes and stuff. Is wind. So it's always windy up there to some degree. Look right there, it's totally stationary. So I'm like, okay, if they're balloons, how are they holding their own against the wind? They would be discombobulated, doing flips and turns and drifting with the wind. I don't know. This is a mystery. She was very intrigued by it, shared the video with me. I'm sharing it with you. And thanks for all your feedback. I really appreciate that. Space Force, maybe it has something to do with Space Force. I don't know. You know, they keep Space Force pretty quiet. They don't talk about Space Force too much. You just don't hear a lot about it. Maybe they're still trying to get it organized. I don't know, but I was anxious to see what they, would share, with the public, if anything. I don't expect them to share anything, but you never know what they're keeping an eye on. But I know if I was in charge of Space Force, one thing I would be doing for sure right now is I would be up here saying hello to this guy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would be getting real close to this guy right here. This is an ancient time traveler from another star. This doesn't happen very often, so this has got to be a priority. We got to get up here and see what's up. So that's where I would be with my Space Force vehicles and my equipment and my satellites. I would have them all over this thing. You better believe it. I would already be all over it. Yes, I would. Okay. Just looking at a message. Okay. Quick look at come over here to the homepage of the website. I've got all kinds of information on here that I check every day. These are some of my favorite pit stops, just a few. MrMBB333.com. We check the sun X-ray flux. This tells us if there's been any solar flares in the last, let's go 7 days. How about it? 7 days, not much activity. The sun's been quiet with the exception of the filament eruption that created the massive, what they call a canyon of fire that was like 200,000 or 300,000 miles long. Looking at the Schumann resonance, it too has been quiet for 6 of the last 7 days. You can see there was some activity 6.5 days ago, but other than that, a little bit of activity today, but nothing to really speak of. Not much. I mean, that's probably in the 8-9 hertz range there for a while. But the normal frequency of the Earth is 7.83. When you see these big spikes, some people are very sensitive to those big spikes. They don't need a graph to know that, hey, the Schumann is very active today. So that's where the Schumann's at right now. And honestly, for the last several days, it's been very quiet. For some reason, we can't get any activity or any type of data from the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera. Not sure what's up with that. I know in the past it's gone offline for a day or two. Could be down for maintenance, but usually when they go down for maintenance, they'll leave a little note up here saying, hey, but we're doing some upgrades or whatever. Nothing. They just kind of went offline. They've been offline now for 72 hours. That's a go-to spot. I go there every day. We watch the supervolcano very close. Watching the wildfire activity, you guys up in Canada. Wow, been dealing with it all summer long in Saskatchewan, over by Fort McMurray, Cold Lake, Saskatoon. Huge wildfires once again, and we're getting wildfires down here in the States. In fact, there's one south of Mount Rainier down here in north central Oregon. Northern California near Redding got wildfires. I heard there's a wildfire near Area 51. You can't make this stuff up. Wildfire near Area 51, but as you can see, it's a little too cloudy to see much in that area. And that's a no-fly zone, by the way. You can't even fly over Area 51. That is a no-fly zone. But we've got a wildfire at the Grand Canyon, wildfires over here in New Mexico, wildfires in Utah, wildfires were up in Montana, and then, of course, Oregon. And something else I wanted to talk about real quick was the ongoing swarm that's been ongoing for several months, in fact, probably a year now, is the swarm of earthquakes up here in central Idaho, which is also an interesting place for earthquake swarms right here. This has been going on. There's not too many right now, but this fluctuates throughout the course of a week. Doesn't look like many. That's an unusual place for earthquake swarms. And again, it's between Yellowstone and Mount Rainier. Mount Rainier over here, the swarm in Idaho, Yellowstone over here. So that tells me, that these are all one big happy family. And when one moves, maybe they all move just a little bit. And maybe, just maybe, the seismographs at Yellowstone are offline for a reason. Maybe there's something at Yellowstone they don't want us to see. Anybody near Yellowstone? Wildlife fleeing away. Now we got the seismographs offline. Are you serious? Whoa. Okay, we need to get boots on the ground up by Yellowstone, right? Maybe I'll drive up there, me and the fam. Red sky, earthquakes, mudslides. Yeah, I know. So there's possibly something going on up here. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I'm leaning towards the seismographs have been maybe taken offline for some reason. I don't know. And I did hear, and I've seen reports, Jorge mentioned about the wildlife fleeing from Yellowstone, traveling to the south of the caldera. Well, maybe they're sensing something too, because now we've got wildlife leaving the caldera. Now we have an absence of seismograph activity. And that's, I got to be honest, that's rare. I've seen it once, I think, of all the years that I've monitored that. But we have now wildlife traveling away from the caldera. Do they sense something? We're seeing a little bit of earthquake activity up here, but not a ton. That one just happened within the last 24 hours. Very small one. That's up at Mammoth. That would be in the area of the very active, which is not active now because we don't have any data. What is up with that? Are they hiding something from us? Very possible. Very possible. So again, with all the activity at Mount Rainier, and again, here's what Mount Rainier looks like in real time. The last time I checked this update, it was 807. 814. It's gone up 7 since we've done the video. Boy, this is a hot spot. Yeah, there they are. There's 2 at least in the last 30 minutes. See the red circles? Brand new, brand new. It's not slowing down. In fact, earthquake activity is increasing at Mount Rainier. This isn't good, guys. We could be on the verge of something big. I mean, we lost our ability to monitor Yellowstone because we don't have access to any seismographs. We're seeing earthquake activity at Mount Rainier, earthquake swarm in the middle of Idaho, buoys bouncing around out in the middle of the North Pacific Ocean. Something is going on in the Northern Hemisphere. And I have seen buoys out there, not today, but over the course of many years. I've seen buoys off the coast of New York start bouncing without the energy of an earthquake. And this, again, just revisiting this area north and east of Tokyo. Look at that. That's showing fluctuations of 200 and approximately 13 feet. Like the ground is slowly breathing, like the ground up at, let me just show you real quick, just to show you the comparison. We're going to go back to let's say the 14th, generate the seismographs. There they are. Maybe this is why they're offline. They don't want us to see what's going on up there, right? Look at that. Could be a bad sensor. Could be the ground breathing up and down like we're seeing out here in the middle of the ocean. Something's up. So I think we're on the verge of something big. If we have two locations, where's this at? Is this at the same latitude? Oh, wow, it could be. No, a little bit further south. But I was going to say, if that's at the same latitude as Yellowstone, wow, that's no coincidence, right? Is that dust? Oh, yes, our dust. But yeah, Yellowstone's offline, guys. So that is a mystery. That truly is. That's a mystery, especially with everything going on at Mount Rainier and then all the earthquake activity everywhere else, the swarming in Southern California. Are you serious? This has been on a whole nother level. The Salton Sea saw an outbreak of earthquakes less than a week ago, and the swarms have been continuing north of the Salton Sea. In fact, you can see swarms up in the elevations. They're everywhere. Just little pockets of swarms all over Southern California. Again, they're no strangers to earthquakes, but that's a lot of swarming here recently. I've noticed an increase in pockets of swarms, and there's one up here in Northern California that's been persistent now for many, many weeks. Makes you wonder what's going on here. Check this out. Some sort of movement right there. Is that Caldwell Pines? Yeah, just south of Caldwell Pines. Look at that. 278 earthquakes there. 814 at Mount Rainier. Something's up, guys, and we can't see what's happening at Yellowstone. Today's report, blank. Things that make you go, right? Right on. I hear you. All right, guys, hold on just a second. Okay, now we got the stream, back stream showing good and strong. That's wonderful. You guys that, if you want to become a Star Family member, here's the link. Star Family member here. Get my spelling correct if you want to. I've had people ask. Star Family member here. Here's the link. Edit, paste. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go. Thanks for joining, guys. Appreciate that. You guys are awesome. And thanks for stopping by. Let me see where we're at here. Yeah, I know it is kind of weird. You're looking at Yellowstone right now. We don't know what's happening at Yellowstone. We have no access to the seismographs. We hardly ever encounter that. That's pretty rare. It really is. About as rare as this ancient time traveler that's going through the inner solar system. This is only the third time in recorded history that something like this has happened, at least that we know of, right? I was asked to analyze the latest image of this thing as it gets a little closer into the inner solar system. It's well inside the orbit of Jupiter. What is that thing? I don't know, guys. I don't think it's a comet. That's just my opinion right now. Just saw another. Graham, thank you, Graham. You're very kind. I don't think it's a comet, guys, but that's just my personal opinion. Connection between the voids in the mantle and swarm. Yeah, very true, Graham. You're a smart guy. You know your stuff. I think if you look at the map up here, I've been following these earthquakes for years. I remember a time when there were no earthquakes up in Idaho. I remember that time. I remember a time when there were no earthquakes up in the Seattle area. Seattle? I remember a time when there were none on this map in Montana. I remember those days. And now, if you look at the map, look at the curvature of the earthquakes. They swoop down into Utah. I remember a time when there were no earthquakes in Utah. That's not the case anymore. So there is a genuine increase in activity, especially out west with regard to earthquakes, but not limited to the west. We're seeing small earthquakes every once in a while show up out here in South Carolina. Of all places, South Carolina, North Carolina. I think it'd have something to do with the Appalachians, but still, I mean, what's going on in Texas? You guys know the situation there. I mean, that's no secret. This, though, however, I also remember a time, though, when there were no earthquakes in Oklahoma. I remember those days. That would be pre-08. Pre-08. That's how long I've been using these maps. Pre-08. I remember the first earthquakes that appeared in Oklahoma. You know, there was a lot of controversy. Why are there earthquakes in Oklahoma? Blah, blah, blah. Well, now we know why. But up through here, I don't know. There seems to be a much bigger picture and play. This has taken on a whole new personality since I've been following this from 2007. Nearly 20 years. Nearly 20 years. So increase in energy out west with regard to earthquakes. We're seeing Mount Rainier genuinely showing signs of life. Yes, it could erupt based off of what we're seeing right now. Will it? I have no idea. But any volcano anywhere in the world that has 800 earthquakes, 814 to be exact, in 30 days is getting ready to do something. Whether it's small or big, that remains to be seen. You know, I'm sure they're monitoring the situation with the instruments that they have, using thermal imagery from satellites, checking the ground for ground temperatures constantly. They see the ground start getting warmer. Well, then they know that the magma is moving up, the magma chamber underneath Mount Rainier. That's what I would be doing if I was in charge. I would definitely be watching the situation as close as I could, looking for thermal anomalies, heat anomalies around the base of the volcano, obviously around the caldera. Once I started seeing an increase in heat signatures, then it's time to, you know, let everybody know, hey, this thing's doing something. But right now, the 800 earthquakes in, let's refresh this, 814, still 814. 814 earthquakes in 30 days, that's a big deal. So we're watching Mount Rainier like a hawk. Is it going to do something? Yeah, I would say yes. That's a lot of earthquake activity, guys. How's everybody doing today? Look at the crowns. Got number 3 over there. That's Joey's got the number 3 crown. Let me click on that. Mr. Graham, Rotten Dog, Joey, moderator. Cool. That's something new that they've added to the chat and the super chats. Oh, and the super stickers. So here it is once again, guys. This is something that we're watching very, very closely. Like I said, I just got back into town this morning, very early this morning. There's some things that we're working on, things I can't talk about just yet, but I'll let you guys know. I'll keep you in the loop. I've gone over my card for today. I've got some other things to share with you guys. There, in fact, where is it? It's right over there. This is a different monitor over here. But I'm going to hold off on that. We'll take a look at that later. But the main topic was the swarming at Mount Rainier. Big deal. Looking at the weather situation, I'll keep you guys updated. If you're subscribed, I'm sending out alerts through the community tab of YouTube. So if you're subscribed, you'll get weather alerts. Anytime I see, and I watch this constantly, it's normally on this laptop over here. That's my old one. I'll keep this up. And then I, of course, use my own personal app. Whenever I see rainfall rates like we saw in Texas, which was a big surprise, that caught everybody kind of by surprise, 2-inch per hour rates, I'll send out a text for your location, just a heads up, say, hey, you know, there could be some flash flooding in your area. So we don't want to get caught off guard again, like what happened in Central Texas. That was not a good scenario. So right now, it looks like southern Arkansas could be seeing some very heavy rain. Anybody from southern Arkansas? Southern Illinois, big time down around the boot heel of Missouri, just north of the New Madrid Fault Zone. I believe what's down there, St. Louis, Carbondale, deep in southern Illinois. So yeah, storms once again. It's going to be a wet summer, guys. This is the going to be the personality of the skies probably through November. and then we're going to see the hurricane activity, and I'm going to have you guys, I'll have your back on the hurricanes. Trust you me, if there's one coming towards land, I will be giving video updates daily, multiples if necessary, and then of course updates through the community app, especially if one's coming towards land. Nobody will be caught off guard. I'll be watching these like a hawk. Thank you guys. I appreciate everybody stopping by and hanging out with me today. I hope you learned a thing or two. Hopefully I brought you up to speed on some things that maybe you weren't aware of. The 800 plus earthquakes at Mount Rainier is a big deal. And the ancient time traveler moving through the inner solar system that's from another star. That's a really big deal too. I mean, again, I don't think it's a comet, guys. I think we're dealing with something else. I think there's something traveling through the inner solar system right now as I do this video, and right there it is. It's not a comet. If I was in charge and I had access to all those wonderful toys, telescopes, I know there's crafts up there. I've seen them, guys. And I know they could travel out there real easy. Go tell us what's up. Yeah, we want to know. Of course we do. And I know you can get there. I know you can get there. So, yeah, we've got an ancient time traveler moving through. Where are you from? Can we see your license and registration, please? I don't think it's a comet, guys. There's something else going on out there. It's inside the orbit of Jupiter and getting closer and closer every single day. You know, they say, and I have no way of confirming this, they say that thing right there is moving at 147,000 miles an hour. Boy, that's a lot of speed. That is a lot of speed. All right, guys. Well, listen, that's all I got for today. I've got some more things that I'm working on. I just can't go into a whole lot of detail right now. But once I get it all dialed in and the information is good, unlike the information here, where there's none at Yellowstone, I'll bring you guys up to speed. But if you have any videos you'd like to share, once again, come over here to the homepage of the website, MrMBB333.com. Click on the red tab here that says have a large video. That's the easiest route to go. It's a Dropbox. It can hold as many videos as you want to send. Email, for some reason, I don't think it's on my end. I think it's whoever your email hosting company is or whatever. Sometimes videos don't attach. If they're maybe over 2 or 3 minutes long, that Dropbox can handle long duration, big videos and large files. So channel 333, super cool. Welcome, Star family member. Got 2 in here, huh? Nice. Way to go, guys. Who else we got? Channel 333, Stephen Roy. Thanks, Stephen. Right on. You're going to have a star next to your name in every single chat. And somebody else too, channel 333. I like the name. That's cool. Very cool, guys. Thanks to everybody that's supported the channel, the new Star family members, the super chats, and thanks for hanging out. It's been fun. I'm going to hop off here for now because I got some other things I'm working on, and I need to get onto that so I can share it with you guys in an upcoming video. But because I got a lot of work to do, and I got some people I have to talk to. In fact, I got a Zoom call coming up here in less than 30 minutes. We're working on some things, guys, some very interesting stuff. So I'll bring you up to speed here in the next, next few days, whatever we get things dialed in. All right, guys, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.